Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Nothing But Trouble by Michael McGarrity, narrated by George Guidall, and directed by Natanya Johnson. This book is copyrighted 2005 by Michael McGarrity. This recording is copyrighted 2006 by Recorded Books. Santa Fe Police Chief Kevin Kerney is back, and this time he's planning to take a working vacation at the behest of a friend, and on the set of a contemporary Western being filmed in a remote part of New Mexico. But if plans tend to never turn out the way we expect them to, Kerney's plans turn out to be nothing but trouble. And now, Nothing But Trouble.
Chapter 1. For as long as Kevin Kerney had known him, Johnny Jordan had been nothing but trouble. But it had taken a long time for Kerney to realize the downside of being Johnny's friend. Memories of Johnny flooded through Kerney's mind on a snowy April afternoon after he returned to police headquarters to find a telephone message on his desk from his old boyhood chum. Johnny was in Santa Fe, staying at a deluxe downtown hotel, and wanted to get together for drinks and dinner that evening. Kerney stared out his office window at the fluffy, wind-driven snow that melted as soon as it hit the glass. He'd last seen Johnny well over 30 years ago, at the memorial services for his parents, who'd been killed in a traffic accident the day Kerney had returned from his tour of duty in Vietnam. Johnny had shown up at the church, late, accompanied by a good-looking woman twice his age, with his left arm in a cast broken in a fall he'd taken at a recent pro-rodeo event. He remembered Johnny waiting for him outside the church, standing next to a new truck with the initials J.J. painted on the doors above a rider on a bucking bronc. Dressed in alligator cowboy boots, black pressed jeans, a starched long-sleeve white western-cut shirt, and a gold and silver championship rodeo buckle, he'd flashed Kerney a smile, led him away from the truck where his lady friend waited, and offered his condolences. "It's a damn shame," Johnny said with a shake of his head. "Are you going to be okay?" "Eventually, I suppose," Kerney replied. "But not yet," Johnny said. "Not yet." They caught up with each other. Johnny had been rodeoing since graduating from high school, and had become a top 10 saddle bronc rider, while Kerney had finished his college degree and gone off to Vietnam as an infantry second lieutenant. Johnny's parents, Joe and Bessie, who owned a big spread on the Jornada, a high desert valley straddled by mountains in south-central New Mexico, where Kerney had been raised, had sold out and bought another ranch in the boot heel of southwestern New Mexico. Joe had left his job as the president of a local bank in Truth or Consequences to take over a savings and loan in Deming. Still in shock over the loss of his parents, Kerney didn't have much to say, but he did promise to stay in touch with Johnny once things settled down. Johnny gave him a phone number where he could be reached, and left with the nameless woman. It had been typical of Johnny not to introduce his lady friend. He had a catch-and-release attitude toward women. Kerney never followed up. His friendship with Johnny had ended years before. At the age of 16, Kerney had hired out as a summer hand on the Jordan Ranch. On his first day at work, he'd been sent with Johnny to repair a cattle trap in preparation for the fall roundup. The job consisted of replacing broken wooden fence posts and stringing new wire. By noon, they'd almost finished the chore when they ran out of steel replacement posts. Johnny took the truck to get more from a ranch supply store in Truth or Consequences, while Kerney stayed behind to string and splice wire. 4 hours later, Kerney was still waiting for Johnny's return when the ranch manager, Shorty Powell, had showed up. "Is this as far as you've got?" Shorty asked, surveying the unfinished trap. "We ran out of posts," Kerney replied. "Johnny went to get more." He didn't say anything about Johnny leaving him stranded in the hot desert sun for 4 hours, with no water, no shade, on foot, and 10 miles from the ranch headquarters. He didn't tell Shorty that while he'd waited for Johnny, he'd rebuilt and rehung the gate to the trap by himself,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?